So we are in Siddur Zichron Dovid in page 152, and in the end of the Amidah, we spoke about the Yiratzon. The one thing we didn't speak about is about the Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo, meaning after you did your silent prayer, supposedly, if you didn't miss the train of the Chazan, so you can listen to the repetition of the Chazan and answer his Berachot, right? So there is people that are asking, like, what do you mean I need to answer the Chazan Berachot? I already prayed, so I did my obligation. Why do I need to have the repetition of the Shliach Tzibur and to answer him Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo and Amen? So the answer, according to the Pshat, is that you're doing the takana of the sages. Yeah, the sages have told us this decree that they made this Chazarat Hashatz, and that's it. So even though we have Siddur, we still, and we know how to pray, and we did our prayer, we are doing the obligation that the sages gave us for the repetition of the Shliach Tzibur. So if that's the only reason, so that's why many people are skipping that and doing like what they call Heicha Shmona Esrei or something like that, like without repetition.
So takana means, is it from tikkun, or it means like setting, like the tradition, or?
Yeah, something like that. They made like certain like rules, extra rules of how things should be done or what things should not be done.
Oh.
Anyhow, according to the Arizal, that's not a full answer. Okay, we have a spiritual reason why we're doing the repetition, and that reason is that our prayer is a certain level, which is the foundation, and this is the minimum requirement. But then, after we did that minimum requirement of the silent prayer, so then we have the privilege, sometimes, if, like I said, if we didn't miss the train of the Chazan, if we can hear the repetition, so that will build another level on the structure of our prayer. It will give us another level of spirituality, except of our silent prayer. The repetition of the Chazan has a special quality that the whole congregation are supposed to attend that extra prayer of the Chazan, and supporting him by saying Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo and Amen on each one of those blessings that he says. So this is a higher level of prayer. Okay, it's not a personal prayer. It's a prayer that is like one person that is the representative of the whole congregation, and all of them are standing behind him and supporting him spiritually, and that's something that is very strong. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, usually it doesn't happen exactly in this way. I don't want to go into details, but you have to have a special privilege that it will be in this way. Anyhow, if you happen to have this possibility of finishing your silent prayer and then to attend the repetition of the Shliach Tzibur, it will be like full-on repetition from beginning to end, and to answer Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo and Amen on each one of those blessings, you got it much higher level of prayer than what you had before, when it was only your silent prayer. Okay?
You say,
except of the Kedusha, besides the Kedusha, just the repetition itself with the Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo and Amen have a much higher level. Then, besides that, also you have the Kedusha inside, you have the Birkat Kohanim inside. So all of those extra additions are very, very worthy. So whenever it is possible, it's highly recommended. What do you want to ask?
Oh, you're saying the difference between praying alone versus praying with, like in other words,
praying alone, that's another thing. But I'm saying even, okay, let's put it this way. Okay, praying alone is one thing.
Yeah.
Praying inside of a minyan,
Yeah.
so you get the minyan,
Right.
yeah. But within the minyan, so you can have different possibilities. There is a possibility that, for example, you started with the minyan, but to you, you know, the Tehillim before the Kriyat Shema takes half an hour, and in this half an hour they already finished and they went home, and you stay by yourself. I don't know if it happened to anyone here, but if that happens, so is that considered to be praying with the minyan or not? So most of the people, most of the rabbis will say no. You have to be in Amidah with them. Okay? So my tradition is not so. You started with them, so you started with them. You're part of the minyan. Okay? The fact that they are finishing quickly and they go home, fine, whatever. Doesn't have to be home. It can be for other things. But the point is that, like, you stay by yourself and you're doing your Amidah by yourself, but you started with them, so that's fine. Okay? Obviously, it's not lechatchila, but if there's a situation, it still counts as you're part of the minyan. Now, there is other rabbi that will say, no, you have to say the Kriyat Shema with them. And there is other rabbi that will say, no, you have to start the Amidah with them. Okay? And then you have the question is, okay, so what should I do? Should I skip to be with the Tzibur? Or should I, like, pray quickly even though I don't have anything, like, to do with the word that comes out of my mouth, and just press the play, and it goes, like, as quick as possible to be with them? And that's the highest priority, to start the Baruch of the Amidah with them. So, again, you'll ask different rabbis those questions, you'll get different answers. Okay? My understanding, my tradition is that I'm starting with the minyan as much as I can, and then I'm doing my prayer, and as long as it takes me, that's how long it took me. As long as it takes them, that's what it took them. I'm part of the minyan. I made my mind that I'm part of that minyan, so I'm part of that minyan. I started with them. I answered the Kaddish. I answered even if I was not holding in the same place. They got to the Kaddish. I'm still back behind. Fine, but I'm answering. They got to the Kaddish. I'm answering the Kaddish. They got to the Baruch. I'm answering the Baruch. They got to the Kedusha. I'm answering the Kedusha. So I'm part of the minyan, and I have my own prayer in my own pace that I like to pray. And that's what I do, and it's not lechatchila, but b'diavad, as far as I understand, according to my tradition, it still counts as part of the minyan.
And the Baruch Shemo is always after Baruch Atah Hashem, right? Or is it always?
Right. So to get to that situation that you are able to answer Baruch Shemo Amen for the repetition of the Shliach Tzibur, so you basically have to finish your Amidah before the Shliach Tzibur starts. Okay? So if you got that situation, that somehow you made it to finish your Amidah and the Shliach Tzibur starts, and then you saying the Baruch Shmo Amen, good for you. And what is the meditation? So look here in the bottom of the page. When you say Baruch Shmo, meditate on Yud-K. When you say Baruch Shmo, meditate on Vav-K. And when you answer Amen, you meditate on unity of Yud-K Vav-K with Adni. Okay? So, about Baruch Shmo, there is like different possibilities of how to do that meditation, but instead of like giving you other possibilities, just keep it simple and say with what we have here in the Siddur. Okay? So what is the Yud-K, what is the Vav-K? So if you look on the beginning of the Siddur, in the chart in the beginning of the Siddur, yeah? So in the Partzuf, so look on the Partzuf. So Partzuf, the Yud is Abba, the Hey is Ima. So that will be the Baruch Hu. And then Baruch Shmo, that will be the Vav and Hey, which is Zeir and Pin, and Nukba. Okay? So in other words, we're bringing down the Shefa in those levels, Yud, K, and then Vav, K. And then after we brought the Shefa down, Baruch Hu Baruch Shmo, which is preparation for the unity, then when we say Amen, Amen is the Gematria of 91. And 91 is also the Gematria of that combination of Yud, K, Vav, K, and Adni. Yud, K, Vav, K is 26. Adni is 65. Together, it's 91. So when you say Amen, and you made it on the Yud, K, Vav, K with a combination with Adni, it's the same thing, Madria, and that symbolizes the unity of the Zeir Pin and Nukba, which is basically the goal of the prayer in a certain way. Okay, so that's basically the meditation for Baruch Hu, Baruch Shmo, and Amen. And now, after you understand that, so you can understand why it's such a big thing to have this privilege to pray with the minyan and to be able to answer the blessings of the Chazan, Baruch Shmo and Amen, because you're creating another unity in each one of the blessings. Yeah, and it says that Gadol Oner Amen Yoter Mevarech, that the person that is answering Amen is bigger than the one that says the bracha. Okay, so one time I heard one of my friends. He told me, what's the meaning of that phrase? That Gadol Oner Amen Yoter Mevarech, that the person that is answering Amen is bigger than the person that is saying the blessing. Because when you say the blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, Shakol Niyah Midvoro. So Baruch Atah Hashem, you have one name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? But when you say Amen, you have two names, Yud Kei Vav Kei plus Adni, combination, the unity. Okay, fine. That's not like what the Arizal says, but it's a nice idea. The point is that it is a great privilege. It gives you another level of your prayer, and if you can do that, this is very recommended. Okay, we're moving on for Avinu Malkenu. So it says here between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, but also there's special times like now that we have this coronavirus plague, that there is rabbis. I heard Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef that he said to say Avinu Malkenu. Okay, so it should be supposedly combined with fast day. Yeah, and then in fast day you announce that there is like a public fast day for the trouble that came, and then everybody are saying Avinu Malkenu. Now people are like very afraid of fasting, so they don't announce fasting. Okay, I heard that Rav Kanievsky did announce fasting for Erev Rosh Chodesh, for Wednesday, but that's another thing. Anyhow, people are like, because they're not fasting, so they don't want to say Avinu Malkenu, as if it's bracha lebatala. But there's no bracha lebatala in Avinu Malkenu. If there's a need to say Avinu Malkenu, there's a time of a need, we need to pray to Hashem to save us, so we should say Avinu Malkenu. That's the whole purpose of this prayer. Yeah? If it's combined with fast day, okay, good, that's even better. But if somebody is not able to fast, it doesn't mean he cannot say the prayer. So say the prayer, Avinu Malkenu. Right? Anyhow, after we're finishing with Avinu Malkenu, we get to Tachanun, but that we will leave for another day. We will leave it here for today. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.